Hello there, everybody. I hope you've had a great Christmas. And all I keep hearing is people's wanting me to make some videos on cooking. And of course, the things I choose won't be things you like. But I've decided that I am going to make a cooking video today. But I am going to make one, and I'm going to say the name of it, and you're going to go, yuck. Well, let me tell you this. I don't want you knocking it till you try it. And little children love this. I am making this mainly for mothers with little children that have to fix something at lunch when daddy's at work and you don't want to be out a big meal or fix something and we want to kind of keep it healthy wise. Well, I'm going to teach you how to make a recipe that come out in the year of 1940. This recipe was being served in a lot of restaurants because beef got so high, chicken was so high, and it was during the last of the war, and it is called hot tuna fish sandwiches. I heard it, and I know some of y'all live millions of miles away, but I heard it. I heard you go, yuck. Well, don't knock it till you try it. And I'm going to make this hot tuna fish sandwich, and I promise you, if you won't dislike it before you serve it to your children, they'll love it. And I told Connor, I said, Connor, my grandson, I told him, I said, when my mother was ailing real bad, right before she passed away, we couldn't get her to eat, and I took a hot tuna fish sandwich over to her. And she ate it, and she said, Betty, that's the best food I've ever ate. I wished I'd had this recipe years ago. Well, I'm here to tell you, she's the one that gave me the recipe years ago. So I'm going to turn this off. We're going to meet in my kitchen, and don't knock it now. Try it. Okay, I'm now in my kitchen, and I'm going to take some hand soap and wash my hands. That is one thing I make sure everybody that comes in my kitchen to either cook or help cook, they make sure their hands are clean. And I'm going to wash my hands. And get me a clean paper towel and dry my hands. Okay, now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to have some butter in a little skillet. And I'm not using a real big skillet because I'm only using 1 can of tuna. But let me show you. It's not the little cans. I chose to use a big can of tuna. And I like Star-Kissed, so that's what I've got here. And I drained all the water off of it and put the tuna in a bowl. And there's no liquids in this. I drained it the best I could, because it goes into my sauce. Okay, I'm going to lay this aside, and I'm going to take a tablespoon of butter, which I've already cut off, and I've already put it in my skillet. Let me turn this where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. I've got about a tablespoon and maybe a little more of real butter in my skillet, and I'm going to let it heat and melt the butter. This is something very good to fix for a lunch for a child. They love it. Okay, while that's melting, I'm going to pull out my flour bin. But you see, I've got just regular old flour in my flour bin. It's not self-rising, it's just regular flour, just flour, nothing added. But I'm going to let this butter melt, and when it gets through melting, I'm going to add a little bit of flour and a little bit of salt and pepper to your taste. If you like a lot of salt, put more. If you like less salt, put less. You fix this like you like it. But I'm going to use, let me see how much I use. I'm going to use about a heaping tablespoon of flour and just sprinkle it. I'm not even going to use all of it. I'll use about 3/4 of a tablespoon. I'm not going to use all that heaping. I'm just going to put a little bit in my skillet. going to stir it until I cook my flour a little while. Now, I'm not interested in getting it brown because I'm not wanting a brown sauce. I'm wanting a white sauce. And I'm going to stir that a little bit. Let that butter cook that flour just a tiny bit. Like I said, I'm not trying to get it brown. And I'm going to put the lid back on the flour and scoot it out of the way. And then I'm going to take a little bit of salt and pepper. This, I think, is pepper. And just a little bit. I don't want to put a lot in there because I'm just using 1 can of tuna. But I want a little bit of salt in there. Now that's to your taste. You put salt and pepper in this. And I'm not going to let it get brown. I'm going to start adding my milk. And I don't ever measure my milk. But since I'm doing this for you, I'm going to try to measure and see. Like I said, I'm not no professional cook. And if you're looking for a professional cook, you're on the wrong video. Because I am not a professional. But I'm going to pour me some milk in this. And I poured a complete cup, 1 cup of milk. Sweet milk. Not buttermilk, but sweet milk. And I'm going to start in stirring this. And I'm going to kind of let that butter and flour mix in with it. Then I'm going to end up putting that whole cup in there. That's all I'm going to use is 1 cup to 1 large can of tuna. Okay, and while this is thickening up, which I need to stir it some more and get it mixed up good in there. I can't hardly talk and cook at the same time. But anyway, I'm stirring up this milk and this flour and stuff, and I'm going to take 2 eggs, which I have boiled. And I boiled more than that, but I just pulled 2 boiled eggs out. They're already boiled. You need to do this before you start. And I'm going to mash them up with a fork. If you want to see what I'm doing, I'm just mashing it up with a fork real fine. And that's 2 eggs to 1 large can of tuna. If I had a small can of tuna, I would use 1 egg. But with this large can, I'm going to use 2 boiled eggs. And this thickens your stuff just like your flour does. But you want to be sure you get the flour in there because that makes it a white sauce. All of that's called is a white sauce. I'm not trying to make a real gravy. I'm making a white sauce. And then I'm mashing up 2 eggs. And I could have had this done, but I thought, well, I'll let them see what I'm doing. I'll set my milk back out of the way because that's all of the milk I need. And I'll put my lid back on my milk. Now you look at this. See, I've got it all mashed up, and I am going to stir my white sauce because I want it to start thickening a little bit, and I need to make sure it's all dissolving. I may turn my burner up just a little bit so it won't take so long. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. That looked like I was turning up a lot, didn't it? And I'm going to stir this till it starts thickening. And it will. I may have put a little more milk in it than I should have, but it'll work fine. I'm just making up some white sauce for my stuff to go in. And all the girls I raised, they all love this. Until people starts making fun of it to them and saying, "Look, you like tuna?" Well, if you ever start doing things like that, your kids won't eat it. So anyway, and this is also so good for a senior citizen to give them something, a good hot meal when on a cloudy day or something. It's so good. It's better for you than eating something cold all the time or just eating a can of tuna. Make it good. Now, I know I can hear some say, Nick, I'd never try that. But if you don't try it, you'll never know that it's good. See, it's getting thick. Got to make this good because Connor said he'd eat it after I got it made. Okay, see now it's kind of thick. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add my egg to it. Connor, would you slip over there and get my toaster? I forgot to do that.
Where's it at?
Now, it's getting kind of thick. I don't want it real thick.
Where's it at?
In that little cabinet over yonder. First cabinet door. And then I'm going to add my tuna to it.
Where you want it? Over here?
Yeah, where we can get some bread and toast it. Okay, and I just slipped my tuna in there and I'm going to stir it up in it.
Guest appearance.
Oops, I slung that out. I'm just not a professional cook. I know that.
Note to self, don't stick the end of the outlet in the water before you plug it into the outlet.
Okay, this is ready. Now I'm going to toast some bread. And I'm going to make Connor a hot tuna fish sandwich. Let's go over this way and I'll put some toast in my toaster. Of course, you know how to do that, I'm sure. You should have done that before.
I'm sorry. Let me get it off. I wasn't thinking about it. Here we go.
Okay.
We're not professionals, but we love one another.
Sometimes. Okay, I'm going to toast 2 pieces of bread and finish up with that just pretty quick. And I'm going to get out a paper plate because I don't want to do some extra dishes, and these paper plates come in handy if you use them. Okay, through with this, through with that. Okay, we'll let our toast, and then we'll put it on bread, and we'll let Connor tell us how it tastes. But this is what you call a hot tuna fish sandwich. And like I said, I know it was brought out in the 1940s. And beef and chickens and everything got so high during the war. Well, they started serving this a lot in your restaurants. Yeah, Kevin, Connor, this is,
It's on.
it's not real brown though. Well, let it toast a little longer. It seems like it takes the toast longer than it did to make the white sauce, huh? But this is something easy and quick to fix for your children on a, say, a school day, and they home from school. They didn't eat at school that day. Well, you could rake this up real quick, and they could have a hot meal before they go back to school. And really, folks, if you'll try it, you'll like it. If you like tuna at all, you will like this. Hey, Connor, I don't want to get it too brown.
Here we go. That's good.
That's good. That'll work. May not be perfect, but it'll work. And I'm going to take 1 slice of the bread, and I'm going to cut it at a diagonal like that. And I'm going to put a whole slice in the middle. Of course, with the child, you may not want to fix that much, but I'm going to do it this way. Then I'm going to pour the gravy and tuna over it, and then we'll have Connor to try it. Connor, get you a fork.
Okay.
And this is enough to make probably 2 or 3 of these sandwiches, or, you know, if you have several little kids, you just one piece of toast would probably be all they'd want. Okay, now don't flop this out on me, but try it, Connor.
Okay.
He's going to try it for us and tell us if
And
it's good.
I washed my hands 2 or 3 times already. Okay. Hopefully I don't get it all over
Just
myself.
set it right there and cut it, honey, and take a bite of it.
Let's see.
Don't try to hold
Burn
it.
my mouth.
Cut it off of the edge.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
I've
Connor.
always liked this since I was a little kid.
This is. You give me a 10. Now, I don't know whether he means it or not, but this is just a tip. This is a tip to help you mothers have something to fix for your little children, and you don't have to fix a great big meal. We got it done in just a few minutes. It's ready to eat. I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, I am not a professional cook. I am just a mama that's cooked a lot of years. You have a blessed day. Keep your chin up and live for the Lord.